Hello and welcome everyone to News Effects, a Flickr Effects podcast where each week we count down the top 10 news items of the week from the world of film, television, and pop culture. By the way, we're recording this on October 16th, 2016. I am David Lott. Joining me as always are Bobby Jackson, Yasha Wilson, and Michelle Curry. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Hey, are we ready to do this?
Let's do this.
Are you? Are we ready to count them down?
Yeah, man.
All right, if you guys want to.
Come on.
As always, we turn this over to our resident news expert, Mr. Bobby Jackson. Jackson, are you ready? I called you Jackson. I never call him Jackson.
I was like, that's a first.
Weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird automatic thing I just did.
Everybody else went, wait, what did he just say?
Past it because I felt like it was some sort of audible tick, but I was like, all right, let's go with it.
Bobby was ready to roll on Josh, and I froze up and went, what the what?
Well, I immediately was like, wait, what did I just do? Anyway.
I kind of like it, though.
You want me to call Jackson? Hey, Jackson, you ready? I'll take that as a yes.
All right, Lot. Let's go ahead and get to it, Lot.
Okay, fine.
Number 10.
So we've got word this week that Doctor Strange, there's some tracking numbers in for it, and the early tracking shows that it's going to make between $55 and $75 million opening. And for comparison's sake, Thor opened with $65.7 million, and Captain America, the first Avenger, debuted with $65.1 million. And at the low end, the Incredible Hulk opened with $55.4 million. So it looks like Doctor Strange looks like it'll probably be a very solid film for Marvel, and I'm sure they'll be happy with any of those numbers, especially if it comes in at that high end with $75 million. And this is still early tracking, so it could actually increase, but I'm sure Marvel is very happy at where it's at right now. So we shall see, and it's just right around the corner, opening on November 4th, and it actually will be open simultaneously here in the United States as well as China.
Oh, wow. Oh, those numbers are going to be much, much closer to the higher end, I would think, than if it's opening in China at the same time.
Yeah, me too. I think the same thing.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would definitely say over 69. If it's got China the same day, I'm throwing it out.
Well, these numbers you're saying, those are domestic numbers, so China won't count for them.
Oh, well, Jesus. Yeah. I think even here, honestly.
I mean, obviously worldwide, it'll have a huge weekend.
Right. I could see even here, because people are talking about this. This one's got a lot of buzz. I could see it. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. Hope it's going to be good. Let's do this.
Number 9.
This week, we got our first look at Amber Heard as Mera in the Justice League movie. It's not really much to see other than she looks like the comic book character in a slightly less green outfit that suits the aesthetics of her sort of like a scaled kind of look to it. But it looks good, and I don't know that there's much to really say about it other than that she is also the queen, or in the beginning maybe the person that is with Aquaman, his sort of Lois Lane, if you will. And it's pretty much I guess what I'm thinking is supposed to be for Justice League, so it means we'll at least get to see a piece of her in this Justice League movie, but then obviously she'll be more featured in the Aquaman standalone film once that comes out. So this is just a first look at her and seeing what that character looks like.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's not much to say about it other than she looks like the character. You know,
yeah, she looks good. I think
she's got the darker aesthetic, kind of like that all the characters in this universe have. So, I mean, I'm talking about the costume.
Yeah, I like it though. I like that it's not so vibrantly green and overdone. I like the more subdued like this. I think she looks really great.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I agree. She looks amazing.
Awesome.
Number 8.
MTV. This is another week and another movie that was going to be turned into a TV series. And this week it's MTV's turn. And they are developing a War of the Worlds TV series. It looks like Teen Wolf's creator and executive producer Jeff Davis will be executive producing this series, along with the writers of Andrew Cochran and Salem's Josh Berry and Jeff Quantinets. I can't really say his last name properly, but I saw this, and once again, it's sort of a hit and miss thing to me at this point, because now it seems like this is the trend, turning movies into TV series, and some things will work and some things won't, and it's just sort of a matter of the way it'll hit you, because when I heard this one, it kind of felt like, for me, the way I felt when I heard that they're turning that movie The Mist into a TV series. And I feel like this could work as a TV series because you can really get the mood and the setting right. Now, where I kind of fall in line of like, I don't know if it'll work right, is the fact that it's on MTV. I don't know if they'll have the budget. I don't know if they'll be able to set the pacing and the mood of it in a way that works. But on theory of just the idea of seeing a World of Worlds TV series, I would be interested in that just because of the concept. But I just don't know if MTV itself can pull it off.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bobby. Like, I'm actually kind of intrigued by it. I think the concept of it being from War of the Worlds could actually really work out. I think it's kind of, in a way, if you think zombie apocalypse, like, who knew that a TV show would do so well in such a setting? This is kind of a similar thing. It's the end of the world, and yeah, it kind of puts you in a different perspective. And I agree, like, putting an MTV is a little surprising to me, but the person that did Salem, like, I liked Salem, actually. I thought it was pretty decent. I feel like this show might find better footing on, like, TBS or TNT, but
yeah,
I don't know. MTV is kind of a weird one. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of that.
You got nothing?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's on MTV, so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched MTV.
I hate nothing against MTV. I haven't watched it, so I feel like I can't give you much of an opinion, because or at least it's not fair to, because I haven't watched anything on MTV in years.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've watched MTV since there were actually music videos on MTV.
So I mean, yeah, like it's unfair for me to go, oh, it's MTV, it's gonna be crap. Like, I mean, who am I to say? I haven't watched MTV, like you just said, since there was music videos on there. So
how old we are.
Maybe it would be good. I don't know. But I mean, it's definitely not the first network I think of for a show like this that I would be interested in. And then there was that Teen Wolf panel I went to, and I'm still bitter about that. So
that's right.
Like, I have a hard time imagining this would be good.
I'm right there with you, David. I'm right there with you. That was painful.
Yes, it was. Painful. It was an interesting experience for Yasha and me.
You guys actually seemed pained when you came back from that. Like,
we still go to a support group every week for it, and
we talk it out. Yeah. We talk it out. We support each other, and then we have texting sessions where we just, David needs to vent, I listen, and vice versa.
Yeah, I still don't know that guy's name. I don't want to know his name.
Annoying.
Yeah,
annoying
his name
asshole.
was annoying.
He goes by AA.
Wow,
that's perfect. I have nothing to add to that, so here we go.
Number 7.
Jeff Loeb has been talking a little bit about Iron Fist this past week. He was asked in an interview what the idea is behind Iron Fist, because with the other Netflix series, we had some sort of theme, like Jessica Jones had it sort of tackled abuse, and then Luke Cage had issues of racism and violence and gun control kind of issues as well. And so they were asking, well, what's Iron Fist? What's that supposed to be about? And Jeff Loeb said that, and I'll quote what he said, it has to do with a number of things, but if we had to boil it down, Iron Fist is a very hard look at the 1%, or in this particular case, the 1% of the 1%, and how that affects our world on a day-to-day basis. And so I thought, like, that was actually kind of interesting, because I know prior to Iron Fist coming out and getting cast with Finn Jones, there was a lot of call for an Asian actor to be cast for Iron Fist, to just sort of switch it up. And now I can kind of understand why maybe they decided not to and go this route with the fact that Danny, not to say that they couldn't have just made an Asian actor be part of a company that's worth billions and, showing that aspect as well. But it did fit in with the actual character of Danny Rand as this white guy who's sort of privileged and he's part of this 1%, in terms of wealth, and to tackle it from that perspective. So it's interesting. I mean, to me, it's another theme that Netflix and Marvel have come up with to make their show distinctive from the other Netflix Marvel shows and give it its own identity. So I'm kind of looking forward to it even more now after hearing Jeff Loeb's quotes.
Yeah, that's intriguing.
It is. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's,
And while on the subject of that, actually, Kevin Feige, he was at the premiere event that they had for the Doctor Strange, and he was asked about the Avengers and the Infinity War, and also the upcoming Avengers 4. And the subject sort of turned to the Defenders because of how hot these characters are right now. And they said pretty much, well, can we expect to see these characters? And in true Kevin Feige spirit, all he said was spoilers, and that was it. And so it's like, all right, now you're just messing with us, because that would imply, just by saying spoilers, like, hey, there's possibilities there that we might see some sort of crossover. And usually with Kevin Feige, he's pretty much a straight shooter. Like, he'll kind of just put it out there. Like, if there's a possibility of it or not a possibility, he would pretty much just say, no, it's logistically, it's just too hard because they film it one time, we film it another, blah, blah, blah. But by just saying that, spoilers, it makes me feel like he's at least making it seem like it's possible. But that could just be me fanboying out and being hopeful that something could happen there. But I feel like it probably could happen in the Avengers 4, but not with the Infinity War. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping something happens there.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping for that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sweet.
Number 6.
Well, this one is kind of interesting because I remember talking to Yasha earlier this week, and we had some news about some other stuff. And in this case, there's news about something specific that he doesn't seem to like. And the news in this case is that there's a third John Wick being worked on. And we hear that director Chad Stahelski was confirming it by saying, the studio has asked us to put our heads together and see if we can come up with something. Winston's, Ian McShane's character, is a big part of the next one. So is Lance Reddick. We've got some ideas. Now, I think it's interesting because obviously the second movie hasn't come out yet, but they've already started to have some ideas of where the third one can go. And I mean, I kind of like hearing the fact that they're already working on it, just because of the idea that they're pretty sure the second one will hit really well with audiences. But Yasha, like, you don't really like the idea of announcing something ahead of time, or is it just?
Well,
something
it wasn't
more
about
specific?
John. It wasn't about John Wick. It was about the Planet of the Apes movie, when they announced that they were already starting to work on 4 or 5 or whatever. Like, they had plans for like the next 2 and something like that. And I don't know. I can see where they're coming from. It's just something that I'm not a super fan of. Like, I'm more apt to like, okay, the movie was a success. Yeah, let's start making plans for the next chapter. But you never know what's going to hit. Like, that's the thing. It's like you never know if it's going to be a huge success. And there are times when people thought that there were going to be huge successes and huge franchise building movies, and they didn't. A la Ghostbusters, this remake, a la Fantastic Four, this remake. I'm sure they had all intents in the world to try and make sequels out of those movies, and the fact that they were just box office failures, to their standards, they have decided to retract those decisions and move in a different way. So it's like, to say that they already have an idea kind of bums me out sometimes, because it feels like that maybe we won't get a complete story or a complete telling of a story, and they're already trying to like make moves to have this next movie come out and have this next plan come out. But if the movie's a failure, we never get to see where they're going to take those characters and have that development. Am I making sense? You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, I mean, I kind of, it's like, I'm really at a catch-22 with it. Like, I can see it and I can get behind it, but at the same time, it's like I'm more apt to like, hey, let's just wait to see if the movie is, really that much of a success.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying too, but I don't know. At the same time, it does sound like this isn't a matter of, we're only giving you part of a story in this movie, and that's why we're making another one. Like the way the quote sounded, at least. But I hope anyway.
Yeah, I get the feeling that when they're talking about this next one, they're probably talking about maybe centering more around that hotel that John Wick goes to, where all the assassins hang out at. Because that's where Ian McShane and Lance Reddick's character are, in that hotel. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. And if they're having a bigger presence, it seems like the story would take place more around the hotel. And maybe, who knows, maybe you don't even need Keanu Reeves for that one. Or maybe it's just he's in it, but more of a secondary character.
Right.
And you're seeing more about the other two.
Moving on.
Number 5.
Well, Yasha mentioned it, so I'll go ahead and put it out there. Planet of the Apes 4 is in development. Matt Reeves discussed the possibility of a fourth film by saying, "We absolutely have ideas about where it goes, because we know that that's the ending, that it becomes Planet of the Apes. The cool thing about what we started in Rise is that it's no longer about what happens; it's about how it happens, and the stories about how." And the stories about how are always about character and psychology, end quote. And so obviously he's pretty much saying, like, we're already trying to still build towards that Planet of the Apes movie, and we're not there yet. So we still have more story to tell. So again, I guess this is another case of where I feel like Apes 3 is a complete film in and of itself, but it's also part of another bridge that gets us to that final movie where hopefully, I mean, we still don't know if they plan on actually making a straight up remake of Planet of the Apes, the Charlton Heston version, or if it'll just end where it kind of leads up to that sort of thing. But obviously that seems to be the plan, in the sense of they want to get to that point and they're not there yet.
I'm curious, Michelle, you're shaking your head like
I don't really have any major opinions on this one.
Okay. I thought it was more of like like I have no interest in these movies kind of thing. I couldn't remember what you thought of them.
Well, as far as this new sequence goes, I've seen the first one.
Oh, okay. You haven't seen the second one.
I'd like to see the second one. I'm down with the third one from what's happening. Fourth one, I need to see number 2, number 3. So that's what I'm saying. I really don't have any opinion on number 4. So I can't really
makes sense.
Expound on that.
Cool.
Number 4.
Well, Netflix is at it again, and they've just spent some more money to acquire some more original material. And this time they went and tapped Chris Rock for 2 comedy specials. And he really came up, because it looks like for these 2 comedy specials, he's getting paid $20 million each. So that's a total of $40 million for Chris Rock. And it looks like it was sort of a low-key kind of bidding war, because Hulu and HBO and Showtime were also in the mix in terms of who else was trying to bid to get the specials, and Netflix won out. So yeah, good job for Netflix, and just constantly getting more material and showing everybody that they're kind of leading the way in terms of quality TV at this point. And I can't wait. I mean, I'm a huge Chris Rock fan, and it's been a minute since he's had a special, so I'm looking forward to whenever the first one comes out and whenever the second one drops. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be very poignant and very good material and quality, because for me, he hasn't had a miss yet. So I'm looking forward to it.
No, I was just about to say, it's been a while since I've seen a Chris Rock special. It's definitely overdue. I'm excited.
I have seen him in live 2 or 3 times, and he is never disappointed. And if you get a chance and you see that this is on tour, go and see it. It's fantastic. I'm super excited for this Netflix show. I just hope he delivers, because I'm a huge Rock fan.
How about your tickets when you go see him live?
I think I paid about. I think they were like anywhere from 65 to 75. I think because I didn't have greatest seats. I paid for moderate seats. I think one time there were close to 100, and I got a little closer. But it's it's affordable. I didn't find it too. This was years ago too, so it's like I didn't find it too, taxing on the wallet.
Yeah, I would love to see him in
That's
person.
not nearly as bad as I would expect, But
I was gonna say, actually, it's not. I was
Right.
thinking 120 or something
Right.
ridiculous. Like I was
Yeah,
waiting for
exactly.
Yasha to drop anything over like the $100 mark and be like, yeah, it was like 135 a ticket. I was gonna be like, ooh,
Right? Yeah.
man. Yeah, 65, $70. That's not bad.
Yeah, not at all.
no. Yeah, exactly.
Number 3.
Well, some sad news, guys. It looks like Benicio del Toro has dropped out of The Predator. Unfortunately, it looks like negotiations fell through. But alas, 20th Century Fox has already filled his shoes, and looks like who's stepping into the role will be Boyd Holbrook. And if you don't know the name, maybe you know him by face. And the last thing that he was in was the Netflix series of Narcos, and he played the white DEA agent. And he will also be appearing in the upcoming Logan film as the bad guy. I think his name is Donald Pierce in the film. So he's coming up. He's sort of rising, and I hope he does well in the role, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm going to miss the fact that Benicio del Toro was going to be in it, because I would like to see what he would be like in a Shane Black film, and especially in a Predator film. So, I mean, I'm pretty bummed that he's not going to be in it, but I still have hope for the film, thinking it'll still be pretty good because it's Shane Black and he has experience with the series. So, I'm not down on it, but it does kind of sting a little hearing that Benicio won't be in it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it seems like a huge loss for sure, but I mean, it's not like it's the kind of loss either that I'm like, oh my God, this movie's doomed kind of thing. Like it sucks, but I'm still excited about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Variety is reporting that Disney is developing a Don Quixote movie. And for those unfamiliar with who Don Quixote is, it's the story of about a lower class aristocrat named Alonso Quixano, who goes insane and comes to believe that knights, maidens, and dragons exist in real life. And sources tell Variety that the plan is to give the film a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe with the possibility of creating a franchise. I mean,
That's a shame.
I don't know much about Don Quixote, and I've heard the name, but obviously it was something that it's one of those things in passing you kind of hear. Sort of like you might know somewhat of the story of the Three Musketeers, but don't really know all the beats of it. And that's kind of like how Don Quixote is for me. So when I heard that they were going to make it and Disney was going to make it, it's like, okay, I could see that could be kind of cool and interesting. And then I get down to the part where they say it's going to have a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe, and I'm just like, well, there goes that. I'm sure people out there like love that series, that love the Pirates of the Caribbean and think it's just a pretty good, fun popcorn adventure series. But I kind of was hoping for a little bit more, and maybe something along the lines of like some of their more Disney, I don't know, not family movies, but something along like the $1 Million Arm or the other one with the runners, or I don't know, something along the line where it's not completely taken in the spirit of trying to make it into this sort of popcorn franchise. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys even familiar with Don Quixote? Because like I said, honestly, was not that familiar with that character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly familiar with it. I guess I read the book a million years ago, but like, and here's my take on this. Honestly, I think it's actually kind of a cool movie premise. I think it's something that it can be done really well. I'm bummed to hear that they're going to make it into like a franchise and there'll be like 3 films out of it. I feel like that's overkill. And in a weird way, it's like I didn't like the all the additional Pirates of the Caribbean, but I thought I still enjoy the first Pirates of the Caribbean, the Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Like, I still enjoy the hell out of that one. The rest of them, I can brush off to the side. So, I mean, if they were to make one film and make it the way they did Black Pearl, I would be totally down with that. That sounds great. But if they're going to F it all up the way they did the rest of them, then no, no thank you. I'm good. Moving along then for me.
Yeah, I guess I have really no opinion on it because I'm kind of like you, Bobby, where I'm not as familiar with that story. So it's not like the kind of thing where I'm automatically drawn in because I'm like a huge Don Quixote fan. Like, okay. I mean, and yeah, like you just said, Michelle, like if indeed it's a movie that could be as good as that first Pirates film, it doesn't necessarily make it bad that they're associating it with like making it like Pirates. But that's if that's what they mean. I don't know, because I'm right there with you. Like, I loved the first Pirates of the Caribbean film. That was a movie that shocked me that I enjoyed it as much as I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a movie about a ride. This is gonna be a joke, and I was like, holy shit, that was amazingly good. And then the rest of them were, to me, I'm gonna use the word terrible, like right from the second one.
Yeah.
And I haven't even seen the most recent one. I just don't care. Like,
yeah, no.
And there's a new one coming out, which I've seen the trailer for. And I mean, sure, the trailer looks kind of interesting, you know, but will I go see it? Probably not, unless I hear really great things about it. If I hear a lot of buzz, everyone going, hey, man, they turned things around. This is it. Sure, I'll go see it. But I kind of doubt that. Anyway, I'm veering off subject. So, but this in particular,
I mean, the Don Quixote story is intriguing, and I like this idea of it being a movie. I think it could be a good movie if it was just a movie. I don't think it negates additional movies, like, or stretched out into 3. God, if they stretched out into 3, oh God, God help us all.
Well, yeah, I feel the same way. Michelle. It's just like, that sounds ridiculous. It's so much overkill. I'm with you. It's a good story, and it's an interesting story, and it could be a fantastic film. But why do we need to stretch this story of had all this minor subplots that have nothing to do with the story and the progression of this character into 3 different films? It's like, come on, nobody's going to think that this was necessary. Everybody's going to look at it as like overkill.
It's a studio money grab.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm the last person to say because I'm not familiar with the story, but I would like to think if the positive here could be they're stretching out by not stretching it out. They're just doing different things, like, you know, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, but at least it would be better than if you just took one story and stretched it out way too long.
That would be a nightmare.
Then just create different stories or something, you know, which, I mean, maybe some people would think that's sacrilegious or something, that love this character in the book or so. I don't know. So again, I'm not familiar enough with it to probably even to have an opinion. So, that's where I stand. Moving on.
Number 1.
Well, Yasha, if you were upset about the fact that they're already doing another Apes or talking about it, and even with John Wick, then your head's going to explode when I talk about the next one, because the Fantastic Beasts franchise will be 5 movies. During a Facebook Live Q&A, J.K. Rowling announced that the franchise has been extended from 3 movies to 5, saying, I can say one thing. We were doing some script sessions the other day, and we always knew it was going to be the one movie. We always knew that from the start. We said a trilogy as a placeholder because we knew there would be more than one movie. Now I think we can say I've done the plotting properly, so we're pretty sure it's going to be 5 movies. And the previously announced sequels are set for release on November 16th, 2018 and November 20th, 2020. The first one comes out obviously November 18th of this year. Oh man, it's interesting. I don't know when they decided that. When I read that quote, it all just kind of sounded like double talk to me. Really, it just was like, wait, we knew we were gonna have one movie, and then we have a trilogy as a placeholder because we knew we were gonna have the one movie. But then we decided, because I plotted it out, that it can be 5 movies. I'm like, okay, if you say so, Ms. Rowling. I can't really fight the fact that you feel like this is a story worth telling in 5 stories as opposed to, a trilogy. But it's so interesting in the fact that the first movie hasn't come out yet, and we're already banking on another 4, and there's already release dates for the next 2. I mean, no doubt it's going to be successful, but will it be the same sort of thing where everyone was anticipating how good Batman v Superman was going to be, and then it just didn't quite live up to expectations? It still made a crap load of money, but not as much money as they were hoping. So will we have something similar here because it's completely untested, or will it actually live up to expectations and they're justified in doing what they're going to do? I don't know. It's so early. I do know I want to see it, like everyone else probably out there wants to see it, but after coming out of it, will I be like, oh, I can't wait to see the next one, I really want to see more of these? Or will I be like, that was cool, but I'm good? So it's an interesting situation. I haven't seen that quite done before, other than James Cameron saying that there's going to be all these different Avatar movies, which we haven't seen the second one yet. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention this in the last segment just a second ago. Well, the last category, number 2, because I knew where we were headed with this. I think this is absolutely goddamn ridiculous. Like, this was based off of a book, right? It's like I had to look to make sure before I started talking trash. It's like, this was just one story, right? Like, I understand the whole Harry Potter thing and even stretching out the very last one to get just as much money out of it as possible. But you are essentially taking one story from one book that had a beginning and an end, and no like, oh, to be continued like Harry Potter did, and stretching it into 5 movies. 5 movies. Go to hell. Give me a break. All right, that's bullshit.
If I may, though, I mean, and I haven't read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I'm going to say that right from the beginning. But from my understanding, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the published book, is basically the textbook that Harry uses in the films. Right. It is not the story that we're going to see in this first movie. My understanding is this story, and now subsequently 4 more stories, are inspired by Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Okay. And sure, it has that title, but I haven't read it. So if anybody out there listening wants to correct me, please do. But my understanding is that, that was basically a textbook about, all these different beasts that Newt, was it Scamander? Am I getting his last name right? Encountered in his many travels, and he wrote this textbook. And now we are going to see a movie kind of based on that. And sure, it has the same title. They decided to use the same title, but it is now telling, I guess, part of his story about his travels. And I assume all of these movies will. So, I mean, I just to be clear, I think that's what's going on here. It's not a matter of we're taking one book that was one story and we're going to stretch it across 5 movies. This is, it sounds like J.K. Rowling, who, by the way, is the screenwriter on all these. Yeah. Is writing basically 5 movies worth of, stuff.
Right. And so, I mean, in essence, this could be basically his life's work of finding all these fantastic beasts, and each section, each film could be, a different major piece in time of him hunting them down, and then he'll come together to write the book, the educational book, the textbook.
No, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I'm really excited to see this, and I will probably be really excited to see the sequels too. But it's just like, it's so much like preparation of like, okay, we're going to have 5 movies for this now. You know how it was just going to be one movie, or I'm sorry, we're going to have a trilogy. I'm sorry, we're going to have this 5 movies. Like, it just seems like a lot, but it's like, I'm still interested in seeing it because I do enjoy the world that she's created. So if it works and it's something that is fluid and it continues on, like without any question, like, yeah, this is awesome, I'm all on board. I'll go watch it. She'll have my money.
Yeah, it's hard because when they go from, it's a film, to, it's 3, to, it's 5, it just makes you feel like the studio is just money grabbing, and it just makes you feel like, really, kids? And yet on the same side, on the other side of the coin of this, for me at least, it's, I trust her. I trust this woman. Yeah. She's written some really great books. She's led us down into a really fantastic world of make-believe and imagery and imagination and fascination that, a lot of people have grown to love, and I do, and I trust her with this idea and this storytelling and this sequence that she's going into within the Wizarding world. And And so I have to believe that what we're going to get is going to be of quality, of good storytelling, of characters that in some ways we'll connect with on different levels, and we're going to want to continue to want to be involved in this world. And I've got to trust that, and that's where I'm going with it. And I really hope that things turn out the way that the Harry Potter series of books and films turned out. And still there's a huge hesitation to me that also is just going, my God, you Hollywood, you're killing me with this. You just keep pushing the envelope so far and so hard. But yeah, like it could just be about Newt Scamalander's life. You know, we can have a different decade covered in each film. I don't know what's happening, but I'm looking forward to this first one, and I'm probably just going to be suckered into following the next 4 after it. And it's going to happen. And I'm sure I'm going to enjoy them because of my trust in J.K. Rowling and her work and what she's developed and what's going to be happening. And I think the storyline will continue, and I think it'll be great. It's just all a matter of what the studio does, what kind of directors you're going to get for each film. There's definitely different Harry Potter films I like better than others. And we'll just see how it goes as far as visual looks for them continuing on. The storyline itself, is it strong enough? We'll see. I'm very mixed on this whole situation with this one for me.
I mean, since we haven't seen this first movie yet, I have a hard time necessarily being mixed in my reaction, because I mean, the only thing I can have is my perspective of, I love the Harry Potter movies, I love the world, so at this point, sure, I'm happy there's gonna be 5 more movies. Yeah. Now, of course, maybe I'll change my tune after I see this movie, and maybe I won't like it. I don't know. I mean, but right now, sure, it sounds great to me. Yeah. But yeah, there's a small part of me that fears that this could be, I mean, it's not really the same, but could this be somewhat like the Lord of the Rings Hobbit situation where, as much as I love Harry Potter, maybe I'll watch these movies and go, you know what, they're fine, I guess, but it's just not the same. Like, it's not Harry Potter. Right. And that could happen. I hope it doesn't. She is writing these screenplays, and, I like you just said, I have faith in her. I've read all those books, all 7 of them. I enjoyed all of them quite a bit. So I really hope these movies are just as good. But, at this point, all I can say is, sure, 5 more movies, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's having not seen the first movie yet.
Right.
So I'm excited.
And I would definitely say, Michelle mentioned the cash grab, and I would say, make no mistake, it's definitely a cash grab, because it's like, for Warner Brothers, they're hungry for a franchise, because they don't have any more Lord of the Rings films. There's no more Harry Potter films. Right now, all they have are the DC movies. So, I mean, they definitely
we all know how well those have gone lately.
Yeah. So, they definitely want something that they can just count on as movies for the next 7-8 years or whatever the case may be. So, they're absolutely wanting that franchise money to come in. So, hopefully the movies are quality as well, and they can get money and we can all win. But we won't know at least until we see the first one to know how we feel about more.
And I'm excited for the first one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hella looking forward to it. I think it looks, from what I can see from the trailers, it looks awesome. I'm trying not to get my hopes too high for this, which is very hard, because I really enjoy these stories, and I enjoy what product it is that she's developed. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you're right, Michelle. Like, I'm super amped though to see this. I mean, I like Colin Farrell. Like, I'm super excited to see where they go with the story. Like, I'm just done watching footage. Let's do this. Like, I'm ready. Let's go.
So yeah. It sounds like we all are happy in a way, but hesitant. Like, I feel like we're all like, it's fine, it's cool, it's good, but we're hesitant.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really hesitant at this point. Again, I don't know. I don't really feel like I am. I mean, maybe, like I said, a little bit, just because of having not seen the first movie. Right. But for the most part, I mean, I don't know. I heard the news and I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of excited.
I was also I didn't even know this whole event thing was happening with people in movie theaters watching this live. Like, I have no idea this was going down.
Well, I know there's a lot of theaters that are playing all the Harry Potter movies a few days prior, and they're there's a huge event for that, but I didn't know this event was going down. No.
Yeah, because I mean, I had one friend like Instagramming photos of, oh yeah, I went to the thing at the movie theater and saw that. I'm like, what?
What? Where was I? Damn it.
I'm supposed to know about this shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's kind of my thing. I should know this.
Right?
Why do I not know this? Damn it.
This is some private thing. Like
Slacking.
nobody was I don't know. Whatever.
Slacking.
Sorry, Bobby. It sounded like you were gonna say something.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say before we get out of here, I just had something that I was been thinking about for the past couple of days, and I wanted to present it to you guys to see how you feel and what you think. You know how they've been doing these movies. Disney, I should say, has been doing all their classic animated films and turning them into live action movies. And I know how you guys kind of feel for the most part about that, but how would you feel that if they start turning their current CG movies into live action movies, like a live action version of something like, I don't know, The Incredibles, or live action version of Toy Story or something like that? That's part one of the question.
I was going to say, I think I know where this is going already.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, continue. Please continue. Please continue.
No, I was continuing. The second part is, what are the odds you think that within the next, I'd say, 15 years that we'll start seeing live action versions of the CG movies that they've had out so far? I would put it like at over or under 75%.
Well, we already touched on this last week with Frozen. We already talked about the possibility of Frozen, but it does sound like you're even venturing into Pixar land.
Yes, exactly.
Not just the Disney animated stuff, but the Pixar stuff. To answer, I guess I'll answer your second question of the percentage possibility of seeing it. How many years did you say? 15 years?
In about 15 years.
And you said 75%?
Yeah.
I guess if I would put it at probably 15 years, let's think. I would say 95%.
Okay.
I'd say it's pretty high. And then you're asking, like, what do we all just think of the idea of them even doing it? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I would say the Pixar stuff, and maybe there's no logical reason for me to say this, but to make live action Pixar stuff feels like it's kind of summoning the Antichrist or something. I don't know. It just feels incredibly wrong. You know, I'm trying to now quickly imagine the Pixar films in my head and imagining any of them in a live action form. And I can't. I mean, maybe 15 years from now, it'll be far enough away that I'll definitely be singing, or I might be singing a different tune. But right now, I mean, like, there's not a one of them I could imagine somewhat being in some type of live action or ultra lifelike CG form. Like, you know, like obviously with the Toy Story, if you did that, or, you know, Bug's Life, if you did a Bug's Life. Like Up in live action. I mean, that one's obviously more palpable, I guess. But even that, I know. Wall-E live act, no. I don't, because also these movies are just so incredibly, like, I feel special to me.
Right.
Not necessarily some of the extremely more recent Pixar, with the exception of Inside Out, which was amazing. No thanks. I'm good. As for the other Disney animated stuff, computer animated stuff like Frozen and Meet the Robinsons, and I mean, I'm kind of brain farting on some of them. There's been so many lately. But
yeah, there has been a lot lately. Even like Moana, which is coming up.
Moana coming up, and
Wreck-It Ralph.
You know, I don't know. It's hard. I can get why they're doing some of the stuff that's old enough, that's like 20 years old at this point or more. You know,
makes me feel old now, but
yeah, more actually. Yeah, sorry, more like 30 years old, 30 to 20 years old. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's hard to imagine stuff that's only like a couple years old being made already into live action. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've already kind of said it. Like, I'm already starting to feel a little worn out from this already, as far as like the regular Disney films, even the ones that are 25 years old right now. and seeing them turn into live action, it's kind of like, okay. But to imagine the Pixar films, like you're saying, like, is it doable? Yeah. Toy Story, totally doable. You know, like there's a couple of them you look at, you're like, yep, that's doable. Definitely could be done. Does that mean I want to see it done? Not really. And honestly, even in 20 years or 15 years, I don't know. I don't think I want to see it then either. I mean, I'm not wanting to see these ones right now, and they're 25 years past. They're 20 years past now, and I still don't even really want to see something like Mulan. I'm like, oh god, we're really pushing, Aladdin and like all this other. I'm like, I'm
Beauty and the Beast.
Stop. Like I said last week, I realize how hypocritical that is. I get it. I totally get it. But yeah, I kind of feel like they could have just stopped with that one, probably, and I'd been fine with it. Because I feel like, especially maybe it's just because of this year, I feel like they really pumped them out pretty back to back. Like you had Jungle Book, and then you had Pete's Dragon, and it's like like they're coming, and I feel like it's just overwhelming in a way of how much it's doing that. So, do I like the idea? Not so much. Do I think it could happen? Yeah, probably. Am I excited about it? Not really. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yasha, any thoughts?
Nope, I'm good.
No, you're good.
You pretty much said what I was thinking anyways with a lot of everything. So there's really no, I'm just going to co-sign on everybody what Bobby was saying, especially. So I'm good.
Right.
You're good. I'm looking through like a list of Disney animated theatrical releases, trying to remember some of the stuff that was computer animated that wasn't Pixar.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Big Hero 6, I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a remake of the story we saw, but like, obviously it was already inspired by a Marvel, comic.
Right.
And
We had even said that though when we saw it. Like I remember even doing the podcast for that show, and we all kind of said a live action of this would be pretty baller. Like, and I feel like there's an exception to it because it's a comic, because it's more of a Marvel thing, because it's a little more like action hero thing. Like I've always said that I could see an Incredibles. I feel like that's something that's fairly doable, and I could kind of see him Meet the Robinsons, but like, and Up, it seems doable, but I don't know if I want to see that. But yeah, no, Big Hero 6, I mean, we even I remember vividly, we even discussed like, yeah, a live action, this is totally doable, and we'd actually be down with that.
But yeah,
you know which
there's
one they
nothing
need
else.
to do.
What's that?
I said, which one they need to do. It would actually maybe do better than the actual version did, and it's the redheaded stepchild and the forgotten movie of Pixar Disney, which is The Good Dinosaur. Like no one talks about that movie. I mean, I don't know anyone.
David, did you see that though?
You
What's that with your boy, didn't you?
I saw it.
What's funny is I actually own it now, and I still haven't seen it.
It's not.
It was one of those movies that like before we made the flight to California for Comic-Con, and we were in our panic, my god, we have to fly with 2 kids, fuck my life, this is going to be the end of the world. I went on like the iPad and like bought a couple movies, and I did the shove a screen in front of my kid's face because I was willing to do anything to make it through that flight. So yeah, one of the movies I bought was The Good Dinosaur, because I remember my son a couple times would see it on the Apple TV and be like, I want to watch that. I'm like, well, I want to drop $20 on that right now, so we're not, but I did, and now I own it digitally, but I still haven't watched it.
It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not a bad film.
But you're right, Bobby. Having not seen it, I can't speak for how good it is. But you're right that in terms of Pixar movies, nobody talks about Good Dinosaur.
No.
It's like it didn't happen.
Yeah,
It is like it didn't happen.
exactly.
Especially having come right after, I think, Inside Out, which everyone loved.
It was Thanksgiving last year, wasn't it? About a little before Thanksgiving. Yeah. And so, and Inside Out had just dominated the summer so heavily.
And now I'm going to completely veer off topic, by the way, as we're talking about Inside Out. It's funny. We did our top 10 show last year. I didn't include Inside Out in my top 10. And I also mentioned the fact that many times on the show how unfortunately I had really the unfortunate case of having seen that movie really before I watched it all the way through in pieces. Because
that's right.
it was a thing where we ended up just buying it for my son to watch because he was interested in it, and I would come home to him watching it, so I would see parts of it. So I was basically experiencing the movie in pieces. And I have, by the way, finally sat down and watched it all the way through, and I think I had even watched it all the way through before the top 10. But I think because of my experience of having seen it the way I had, I still went into it going, yeah, it was an honorable mention, but it didn't make my top 10. There's no doubt now, if I look back at it, it feels sacrilegious that it didn't make my top 10. I want to say the last time I watched it, which wasn't that long ago, it was like a month ago, my son wanted to watch it, and I pretty much watched the whole thing with him. Like, I almost cried like a little girl watching that movie.
Yeah.
and in multiple points. And I was like, first of all, why does my son like this so much? I mean, I get it because he's not buying into the things I'm buying into.
Right.
I'm having a completely different experience from him than he's having, and he's loving this movie for different reasons, and I'm enjoying it because it's tearing me to shreds, and for some reason I'm enjoying that. I can't quite figure out why, but it's an incredibly good movie. So yeah, I just had to throw that out there, that it's unfortunate it didn't make my top 10 and I experienced it the way it did, but I just had to throw that out there since we were talking about it. So
I totally remember that, and because it did make my top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
right.
Yeah, I think
And
you and I had
just
it in
remember-
ours. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking, like, wow, I mean, did he not watch the same movie I watched? Because I'm surprised it didn't connect more with him. And it was just like, well, but I mean, if it didn't, it didn't, and I can get it. Because, yeah, like you said, at first you did have the chance of sort of just seeing it in pieces. But I do, as you said, kind of remember you having a chance to watch it from beginning to end, and you still kind of had that sort of opinion. So I was like, wow, I'm surprised.
And
I don't know.
I think even when I did watch it from beginning to end, it still wasn't like a dedicated, I'm sitting down and I am experiencing this movie, which is like how I like to watch movies. Like anybody who knows me, and I feel like everyone should be this way. You watch a movie, you watch the movie. You don't like fuck around on your phone at the same time. You don't have conversations with your roommates at the same time. Like, you are watching this film. And I still don't think I had that experience, even though I was saying, yeah, I've seen it all the way through. I probably really should have said I hadn't. And now I really have. And yes, it's an incredibly, incredibly good movie. So, I mean, would I say it's my favorite Pixar film? I don't know. I still have a couple that are way up there, and I don't know if I'm willing to put it at number 1, but
It's up there.
oh, it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know I've veered off topic, but we were talking about Pixar, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, Pixar.
But Planes, Fire, and Rescue, that I can't wait to see in live action form. It's gonna be great.
God, it's gonna be so hectic.
Yeah, right up there with Cars.
Man,
Cars 2.
live action Cars.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
It's only I would only watch a live action Cars if they make it in the vein of Christine.
Nice. How are they going to do those windshield eyes? That's going to be weird.
Yeah, right. Well, that would be creepy. It would be creepy.
I can't wait to see this. If only there was somebody listening that was really good at like hardcore computer animation that could like do a rendering of that, like a lifelike Cars would look like to creep us out and be nightmare fuel for days.
The ones in the theme park creep me out.
Oh yeah.
Have you done the meet and greets at the studios with them?
I used to work on those two things, so yeah. I used to work parades there, so yeah, those things are interesting.
Creepy.
Anywho, so yeah, interesting question. I guess we'll see in 15 years. We'll get back together in 15 years and see what happened.
Yeah.
There we go.
Meanwhile, in 5 years, it will have already happened.
Right.
They'll just accelerate that.
Yeah,
schedule.
exactly.
We're old.
I mean, at the speed they're going, they're not going to have anything left in 5 years.
At the speed that they're going, I mean, within 8 years, I could totally see us all going to hell in a handbasket.
Yes. Anyways, with that, we're going to get out of here. As always, we would love to hear back from everyone listening. You can let us know by emailing us at feedback@flickereffect.com. And look for us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google+. You can find links to those accounts. Just look on our website. They're over on the right-hand side. I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
I'm Yasha Wilson.
I'm Michelle Curry.
Thanks for listening.